Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how to translate sequence of text using the iOS 18 translation API in React Native's new architecture for iOS. So first let's quickly have a look at the output. So here you can see that I have few text. It is in German language, and if I click on translate, it gets converted to English. Now if you are doing this for the very first time, you will see a pop-up. I will explain more about that pop-up at the very end of this video. First let me explain you guys the code. So let's get started. So first you will have to open this particular documentation, given that I'm following new architecture and I will be copying a lot of code from this documentation, so it's better you keep this documentation handy. Then what you will have to do is, once you create a React Native project, you will have to open your terminal. You will have to cd to this iOS directory which we have, and then run this particular command. So this will enable the code generation for iOS. Once you do that, we will have to create a folder called rtn my swift UI view. You can name it whatever you feel like. Now the problem is there are few caveats. This is an iOS 18 only API, so it will work iOS 18 and above. Second is, you will have to run this on a real device. And third, the view which you see is not React Native's text or button touchable opacity. This entire thing is a Swift UI view. Now at least at the time of me recording, iOS 18 translation API is tightly coupled with Swift UI. You can't even use with UIKit. That's why I have to embed a Swift UI view inside our React Native application. So that's why I've created this folder called rtn my swift UI view. Inside that I have created this package.json file. I have copied everything from the documentation. Only this name has been changed, this name has been changed, and this name has been changed. Then I have created a podspec file. Again I have copied it from documentation, and only this name has been changed. Then I have created a JS folder. Inside that I have created this TypeScript file. Again I have copied it from docs. I have removed the props, and this particular name has been changed. Once that is done, you will have to again open your terminal. Now the documentation also says that create an iOS folder. We won't be doing that because we need to write Swift code, so we will be writing inside the main iOS folder. So for now, open terminal, cd to the root of your React Native project. Firstly run this command. Once you do that, you will run cd ... It will move you outside your React Native project. Now then you will have to run this particular command, but instead of rnap5 sequence of text, that is my project name, as you can see over here, you will have to change it to your own project name over here, as well as over here, and run this command. Once you run this command, you will have to cd to the iOS directory and then run this command. So this will do code generation as well for our folder. Once that is done, you can import it something like this and use it like this. Okay, now to see the actual code, you will have to open the XC workspace of iOS inside Xcode. I have already done that. Then you will have to select over here, go to targets. Firstly go to iOS and make sure you change this to at least iOS 18. So I have changed it over here. I have also added iPad because I am running it on a real iPad device. I don't have an iPhone. And then I have again, we'll come back to the documentation. Documentation says create an header file. That's what I have created. Again I have changed this particular name. Then create an Objective-C file called rtn my swift UI manager. I have changed the extension to .mm, so it is Objective-C++. Again I have copy pasted the code from documentation, and only this name has been changed, this and this has been changed. Then create another Objective-C file, change the extension to .mm, it is Objective-C++. Again I have copied it from docs, only this name has been changed. This has been copied from docs itself, only this names has been changed everywhere. This is our project name. In the documentation they have given some different import for this. We have to use this import because we are writing this code inside the main iOS folder. Don't use the last import which the documentation has given. Again this has been copied from docs, this entire thing, only this names has been changed. Okay, and this is our Swift file which I will show you shortly. Again this has been copied from docs, and only this name has been changed and this has been changed. Then here we create our view. We assign it some color as well. This is not really necessary. This is, here we are initializing our Swift file, adding it to our view, and this entire thing again has been copied from docs, only this name and this name has been changed. Okay, then create this my Swift UI view file. Xcode will ask, do you want to create a bridging header? Click yes. This actually is still a UIKit file because it extends from UI view, but we have to write some code to embed Swift UI inside UIKit. We can't directly use Swift UI in React Native, just like we do for native iOS. So here you have to use something like this, and here you can see this is boilerplate code. Whenever we want to embed a Swift UI view inside our UIKit application, this is the file of my Swift UI view file. Okay, so this you might have to change if you are giving it some other name. And again, this has been copied from docs. Here I have just created one extension to get hold of our root view controller. You can copy that. Then for this Swift UI view file, I have created another Swift file called Swift UI view. First I will go to this another Swift file which you have to create called view model. So here are all the text which I want to translate. For reset, I'm just translating it back to original thing, and here I have created this extension. Again, I really don't understand much of it. I have just copy pasted it from the documentation itself, but basically it will convert it from one language to another language, our whatever text we pass it to it. Okay, now coming back to this, here we create our view model, we import translation as well, we create this configuration, and here we just inside a v stack, which is like kind of like a vertical view, and we just loop over all the food items and display text for each and one of them. Here I have just created one button, and on click of it we just call trigger translation. Here because of this is tightly coupled with iOS 18 translation API, is tightly coupled with Swift UI, and inside on app here we just call reset, and here we just call trigger translation. And here you can see I'm passing the language code, so I'm passing from German to English. If you want iOS to detect it for you, you can just completely remove this source and target thing, but I will try to avoid this. I don't really like this, because in my case what it does is it converts it to Hindi, even though the language which I'm using on my iPad is English. Okay, but yeah, that's the point. Now I told you, like some of you might see a model, right? So I will just change this to en.gab. This is for English UK. I will rerun my application. In the meantime, what I will do is, if I show you my settings, and if I scroll down, if I go to apps, if I show you the translate app, if I go to downloaded language, here you can see it has already downloaded English, German and Hindi for me. English UK is still not downloaded. So when I run my application which requires English UK, it will show me a pop-up that you don't have this model downloaded inside your real device. You need to download this model before you can really use it. So the user will have to click on this particular option to download it, and then only he or she should be able to translate it. So that's what I wanted to show you. Okay, so here is our code. Now if I click on translate button, here you can see I'm able to see this pop-up. The user will have to download this, then only they can translate it, but I won't download it because I don't really need it. But hopefully you got my point. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.